Good morning. This is Hampton Roads Real Estate News for Monday, October 13th, 2025. I'm Coach Drew Little with the Home Run Team at Real. Despite the biggest surge in home sales in 3 years in August, existing home sales for 2025 are on track for their worst year in 30 years. Across the broader market, 2025, barring a massive fourth quarter surge, is shaping up to be the third consecutive worst year in 30 years for real estate. Of course, every market is local, and while the Hampton Roads market is slowing, much of that slowdown appears to be seasonal as we continue to see improvements over 2024 locally. For September, according to RAIN data, active listings in the 757 were up about 800 units, or 17.91% over 2024. Pending sales were up 13.67% year over year. Closed sales rose 9.5%. New construction sales rose an impressive 18.85% from last year, and the median home price rose a healthy 4.32% from September 2024 to $365,000. There seems to have been some seasonal cooling off as we exited the busy season. Month over month, from August to September of this year, listings declined, pending sales were essentially flat, and there were about 100 fewer closings in September than in August. However, the banner September sales of new construction more than made up for slow new dev sales in August, which had been down significantly from 2024. The median home price in September was down $5,000 from August. This trend supports the conventional wisdom that autumn is the best time to buy, with October being the national sweet spot for buyers. According to an article on Realtor.com, Virginia Beach was one of 3 cities nationally where the best week to buy came early this year, September 21st through the 27th. However, strong inventory, longer days on market, and a declining median price and an increase in seller concessions indicate that this remains one of the best times to buy a home in Tidewater in months, if not years. Despite the improved conditions for buyers, Hampton Roads is still a technical seller's market, but it is closer to a balanced market than it has been at probably any time in this decade. Many consumers may be surprised or even confused by the region's status as a seller's market, given that so much of the national news coverage is about flat prices and the return to a buyer's market. Consumers should keep in mind that different local markets have different conditions. More desirable markets, like coastal Virginia, still benefit from strong demand. In this area, that comes from the strong military presence, excellent quality of life, and the beaches. Nationwide, half of major metros have become buyers' markets, while half remain sellers' markets. The investor share of home purchases has hit a 5-year high, according to CNBC, with fully 1/3 of home purchases in Q2 of 2025 being made by investors. About 90% of these are so-called mom-and-pop investors, who either hold just a few properties or are flippers. Only about 2% of investment properties are held by large corporations, despite the common narrative on social media. Tough times could be ahead for these smaller investors as rents are declining nationally and the profitability of flips has hit its lowest point in 17 years, which was at the beginning of the Great Financial Crisis. Fully 20%, or roughly 17 million of the nation's 86 million single-family homes are currently held by investors, causing some analysts and industry pros to consider that we may be seeing the late stages of a real estate investment bubble. While there are many positive signs for buyers are canceling contracts at a record rate, with 1 in 7 deals falling through in August. According to Redfin, 56,000 buyers backed out nationally in August alone. 70% of cancellations were at least partially related to inspection or repair issues. 27.8% were attributed to financing falling through, and 21% were due to buyers not being able to sell their home. Fortunately, many of these types of cancellations can be avoided if the buyer and seller both have top-level professional agents on the deal and the buyer has a good mortgage loan officer. A good listing agent can often help their client understand that repair work is often a necessary concession in this market, and they often work with contractors who will defer payment to closing. A good buyer agent can prepare their client for the reality that repairs, even significant ones, are to be expected when buying an existing home and nothing to be scared off by, if they have a good agent. Buyers agents and MLOs also need to have frank conversations with their buyers about how to avoid jeopardizing their approval. Lastly, when buying and selling a home at the same time, consumers need to pick an agent with demonstrated ability to close both, as well as ensuring that both their agent and their lender have access to and thoroughly understand buy now, sell later programs, which are gaining popularity but still underutilized. This has been Hampton Roads Real Estate News for October 13th, 2025. Please follow or subscribe to get the latest news about the Hampton Roads market. I'm Coach Drew Little with the Home Run team at Real. Thanks for watching.